Hello, everyone. I hope you're ready for the last session for the day. I would like to invite the guys in the back to move forward a little bit because it looks quite empty, but it's your call. So, as the regulatory framework becomes more suffocating, marketing becomes an even more challenging effort. Whether it's acquisition costs or the issue of standing out in a crowded market, marketers don't have it easy. We have here two experienced marketing specialists who will dive into the nitty-gritty of the craft. So, Stefania, please go first.
Hi, everybody. Hello? Hi. Hi. So, basically, as Michael said, it's all about marketing in this space, but marketing and PR has completely changed with blockchain and crypto coming up. And these are just some, as I said, secrets of success of ICOs. Michael, can I? Oh, that's it. Right. So this is just a quick overview of ICO. So we saw that 2017 was basically the year of the boom, where we see lots of successful IPO. And 2018, the success rate just started to drop, particularly because there were just too many ICO. Most of them, they didn't have a proper user case. So like, let's say like a big bubble, but still lots of money raised. However, there were just too many projects. Here we see just some data about fundraise, and here, some leading blockchain startup. Right, what we do is basically Cassiopeia. We started looking after clients on the stock market, whatever was London or Canada or ASX. And then when the blockchain crypto started to boom, I basically saw the opportunity, and I decided to move into that space because I saw there was basically no PR, investor relation, and marketing company that really understood crypto and that could really help companies. So I obviously had to learn a lot. I went into courses, I network, I skill up, obviously, because that is important. And then we started basically to dive into that space. And also we see, as I said, how the PR and marketing has changed. So what we do, we create, engage, support, and develop, offering smart campaigns. PR in the old days was about basically bribing journalists in order to get your story out in the press. That was basically what what was about making the noise. Where now is more about building communities. So all the PR, all the marketing completely changed, has to focus on social media, social platforms. So here I'm saying about crypto platform and engagement with communities. So build up your followers. That's very, very important. And that's something that we focus on at Cassiopeia. Here are just some questions that any company that is looking to do an ICO should ask. And the first thing is about what is the problem that your project is going to address. So whatever you have an idea, you think is great, but if it doesn't have a real application, that is not going to last, right? So it's important that you have got a real user case, a real application, and you are going to basically bring a solution and solve a problem. Then is your token necessary? So if your project doesn't need a token, so don't do it, because you will look silly, and in the long term, basically, your business is not going to last. So it's important that whatever project you have got, don't try to put, okay, I'm just going to do a token because it's fun and because it's cool. That is just wrong. Who is going to benefit from your project? So obviously you need to know who are your clients, who is your audience, and make sure that your idea, your USP is very clear. That is what is going to make you stand out from your competitors. And also describe your idea in a very clear and simple way. Because, we are basically working in the blockchain and crypto space, so we know everything, and we think that everybody knows it, but that is not true. Nobody, it's not that we shouldn't basically take for granted that people know things, but we have to explain. And that is about another point, very important, is about education. Education is a big thing for company. Company need to understand whenever they are going for an ICO, they need to make sure they have got they are going to educate people, they are going to educate investors, and they are going to educate also media and the press. Because, as I will say later, most of the journalists, they don't understand. They are not, they just use these buzzwords, but they don't really understand how things work. So if you want your message, your story to be covered properly, you need to make sure that that is explained properly. So that's why education. How are you going to make money, right? Revenue is very important. If you don't show how are you going to make money, that's really, the project doesn't stand on its own, you know, just built in the cloud. And then we said obviously about the real use case. Here we have got some tips. So very important about your identity, very important about identify keywords. So wherever you are starting your project, you need to make sure that the idea is clear, but also that your visual identity and your content identity is very clear. It's like try to find a motto, try to identify some keywords that you are going to repeat on different platforms, whatever is your website, whatever is social media, and that creates kind of like identity that people will remember. Because then the brain of people works with association. So if you are able to print something into their mind, they will never forget it. And they easily go, oh, that's what they do. You know, if you try to be too complicated, then it's very difficult for people to remember you and to really understand what you're doing. Then obviously pay attention on, as I said, about identity, so the logo, the website, all the color as well. Every kind of like design that you're using need to have a meaning and need to tie it up with your idea as well. And here basically is the guideline. So we start with the idea. Make sure that there is a use case, proof of concept, white paper, and identity. So the white paper as well need to be really clear, and use as much visual as you can, because that is quite powerful. If you can do a 1-minute video about your business, that is fantastic, because you know that will grab attention much more than a white paper with no images or infographics. Market. So the market, you need to make sure that you do lots of research, you understand what are the challenges, what are the barriers, who are your competitors, why they are successful and why they fail. So that will basically give you all the full understanding on how you can best market your project. And then obviously regulation and compliance, so make sure wherever you decide to do your ICO is the right jurisdiction for your project, and then security concern as well. Here, developing a token economy, so here we come back to the point, is the token really necessary for your project? That is really, really important. I saw many companies just trying to put the blockchain because it's cool, and that is really bad. So you have to find token goal, token utility, necessity of the token, because, you know, as I said, that is very important. Marketing strategy. So when you are then ready, you have got your website, you've got your white paper, you go to talk to investors. Investors, they don't invest in project, they invest in people, right? So the people that you are going to put at the forefront in any meetings need to be people, obviously they've got the right communication skills, but they are also passionate about it. So if you have got the wrong people in front of investors, nobody is going to invest in your project. So solid management team, obviously that is important, but what I wanted to say also here is like, when I'm looking at a company with like 20, 25 people in the team, I just say who is doing what and who is really working and who is just there to put a name on. It's very important while you are building your team to just keep the team to the right people. Don't try to put in too many people because it looks really bad, honestly. You lose your credibility. Roadmap. have a clear understanding of how are you going to develop your project and present that to people, because that is key as well. So whatever on your website, on your white paper, you need to show a clear roadmap of everything that you want to achieve and then you can achieve within your budget. So about finance is very important. How much money are you going to raise? For what are you going to use those money? Those are all kind of questions that you need to consider and you need to integrate in your roadmap and also be very transparent to investors as well. Business model, financial model, revenue forecast. As I said, about how are you going to make money? Whatever you are going to do, an ICO or even a listing on the market, you always have to make sure that you are going to put in some financial forecast, because people want to see, obviously, you know, their exit, and they also want to see how much money they can make invest in your company. Marketing, so here we go back to what is important for your identity. The website, obviously, is the first interface. So making sure that your website is very clear, is engaging, you use a nice visual, and also social media. So social media, as everybody knows, they are the core of the communication right now. So it's not anymore getting your PR to talk to the journalists. It's more about being able to distribute an engaging content through your social media. Through the social media, you can do a lot. Something that happened to me, which is very interesting, I started to get covered by myself, but also my clients on the newspaper, just putting things on social media. So recently we wrote a couple of blogs about a client, and we just put some new content that we create. We did a video interview with a DigiByte founder, and that's a DigiByte campaign that I want you to talk about a bit about later. And I put this interview out on YouTube, and it went really mad. In a couple of days, I got 1,000 followers just on my personal Twitter, and that was really something crazy. So with that project, I really discovered the power of the virtual and online community, which can really do so much. And the same, then we wrote a blog, we put an interview in it, and the day after I was in the Daily Express, myself with the DigiByte founder, and everything from my blog was quoted there. And that is when I realized how marketing changed. So it's not anymore going, oh, I'm going to go to pitch to that journalist. Forget about that. What is about? Understand what your client is doing, the project, and then help to present. Help him to present his project, creating new content, and then distribute this new content on social media, on crypto platform, and making sure it's out there. And then the journalists will pick it up, because this is where the journalists are taking news. So they are taking the news from the community. They are taking the news from the crypto community. I'm always saying I divided the media in two areas, so the Bitcoiner and non-Bitcoiners. The non-Bitcoiners, so BBC, Bloomberg, and they are great outlet and great media to give you credibility. But where they are feeding themselves is from the crypto. They are feeding themselves from Twitter. They are feeding themselves from the crypto platform. Okay, so investment in PR and marketing is a must. It's very important. Unless you have got a strong marketing team in your company, you don't need anybody. So, there are companies in this situation, but if you don't have these kind of skills, or if you have only one person, you do need help, because there is a lot of work that needs to be done to every day and continuously. It's not just about one post a day. It's about engaging really with these people on the platform and be proactive. So it's all about engagement and build up communities. So we said education is focused, I said that before. So you have to establish relationship with journalists, but also making sure they really understand the project. So talk to them and explain, because it's not just about giving some information and think they really understand what you are saying, because most of the cases then you find something in the newspaper that is not correct. And then just the last things that I wanted to say was about, building communities. So we have been recently working with Digibyte, and we are going on Sunday, on the 18th of November, this coming Sunday, we are launching the first UK event for Digibyte. And that is a big project that we have been working for the last couple of months. It's all started with a video interview that I said, and I basically found myself to manage a really big community of Digibyte enthusiasts. And we basically set up all new Telegram channels, and we basically find a new community, and we created this new community of Digibyte followers in London. So the founder will be there as well. So this is how basically we did the Digibyte case study, and we tapped into a new community. And then ultimately, we managed to create something new in London. And that's it. Here, then there are some other tips, things to not do, and things they are very important to do anyway. But what I wanted to say is basically marketing and PR is, the focus is about building community, creating content, and education. Education, I will never stop to say that education is very important. So that's it. Thank you. Sorry? Yeah. Ooh. Well, ask me any question you want. Yeah. I can't hear you properly. Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah,
Thanks.
so one more time. So you've been talking about how marketing and education and everything is important, and mainly why we came here to this presentation was to really check out your case studies, guys, and what made these ICO successful.
Yeah.
So what was the strategy, and how did you guys launch the Digibyte? What marketing strategy did you use, and what marketing channels?
So basically, how it started is I was doing an interview with a friend of mine, a big ambassador of Steemit. And I said to him, which currency would you invest, cryptocurrency? And he said, he said Digibyte. And I didn't have a clue about Digibyte. So I went home, I did my research, and I said, oh, it looks very interesting. So then I contacted the CEO, and I said, I want to work with you, so let's start with an interview. And I did an interview with him that went basically viral. And before then, obviously, I did all the research, so I basically make sure I understood what is Digibyte, what is their unique selling proposition, and how they could be one of the best cryptocurrency going forward. One, they can last longer, right? They didn't have any ICO. They are the longest blockchain, and they are much faster than Bitcoin. So once basically I had a full understanding of what they do, then I did the interview with him, and then I did a blog, and then I put those out on the wire. So YouTube, all the social media, there was a big campaign, the full interview was out, then we cut bits and pieces. It was all about the power of decentralization. So one of the things they did, for example, there is a project in Venezuela where people are paid in Digibyte. This project was not started by the founder, but was started by somebody in the community. So that is why the power of decentralization is like doing an ICO. And then you find out that somebody that is using your token, set up another business there, and you don't even know. And then it was great. So then, we basically identified some concept, and we went out to basically market those concepts. So, and one of those concepts was the power of decentralization. And we basically discovered that there was a massive community of Digibyte followers on Twitter. And they were all over the world. Lots in London, very, very many in London, and they start to contact me, sending me email, retweeting my stuff, asking friendship on different kind of social media. We set up a Telegram, and then they say, "Oh, Steph, why you don't do an event?" And then okay, so then I basically decided to launch this event in London. I got Jared to come down, and now we are basically launching the first DigiByte event. But there was a lot of work that we did on social media, not just putting things out. Was about engaging with those people, and the press covered us so as well. So I was in the Daily Express, I was in the Telegram, so I was in different kind of mainstream media as well, just because it really went viral, and DigiByte is one of the 30 coined by market cap, so it's not like a small token. But I think if you are talking about small ICO where you don't have a big coin, big market cap, it's more about what is your mission? What are you trying to solve? I'm working with a company that will be doing an ICO, and it's about online reputation. The problem of online reputation is that you can't reply to the content online in the same time with the same effectiveness. What you can do, you can email the journalist, you can sue to the journalist, but it's all delay, right? So if you are able to basically create a platform, an additional layer on the top of the internet, where you as a person with a reputation, digital identity, you can reply straight away, that is game changing. So think about what your idea is game changing, what the problem you're solving that is mind-blowing. You need to have that. Otherwise, it's difficult to stand out.
So what made DigiByte basically successful in comparison with other ICOs was their vision, and then they just organically went from 0 to 100? Or what marketing channel really acquired such a huge audience on Twitter and on social media?
DigiByte didn't have any ICO. So they basically are the longest blockchain and really fast and very secure as well. So they just build up the community organically, and that is something that makes the difference. Rather than going out and shout about the project, they basically got followers on a really usage of the coin. Okay, that's fine. Sorry,
thanks.
I'm just going over.
Thank you, Stefania. Actually, I haven't seen Stefania's presentation before, but a lot of slides are gonna, I'd like to comment on them as well and add a few ideas. So today I'm going to be talking about case studies. So I thought that there are quite a few companies, and we worked with them, who come from the Forex industry, and they wanted to move into crypto space. So I'd like to discuss those types of companies and the mistakes and the takeaways that we had. So I know that it is late, so let's move to takeaways. So if you need to go, this is the slide that you need to read, and then you can go. So first of all, I would say every Forex knows their key audience, right? But if you're moving to crypto, you really need to rethink that. That's very important, and we're going to dive into that a bit later. So secondly, recalculate your lifetime value models and attribution models. That is important. There is not a single ICO, Forex or crypto project that is going to be successful or was successful after March 2018 that doesn't have this figured out. So number 3, understand a lot and understand performance and brand marketing. So branding, something Stefania was talking about. Branding is vital, but also know your performance metrics. Google, Facebook, not really treating crypto and Forex how they should be treated, I suppose, but you need to look into new providers. Usually you're going to be thinking, especially if you're an ICO, there was a question from the audience before, you'll need to create the top of the funnel using display, native and video ads from new providers. That is important. And the number 5 point is that you need to take some old school approaches that used to work for the Forex industry before, like seminars and all these types of things. Okay, so who we are, what we do. CoinTraffic and CoinMedia, premier thought leaders in blockchain marketing. So we've been working since 2013 helped ICOs raise over roughly $800 million or so. And then we moved into working with clients that already have the funds and want to move forward. So, and I personally consulted and worked as a contractor for Google, working for the FX clients. So what makes a good FX company? Number one, you need to know all of your metrics. So it's analytics, attribution, and your business modeling. Number two, marketing. Marketing is essential. You need to know all the lifetime values in order to outplay all the big guys. Or if you're a big guy, you need to know how much an user can make you. It is also a technical requirement, let's say, for Google or other platforms. And number three is the operational excellence. I don't really know a lot about that. So behind the scenes, all the PSP integrations and gateways, I know nothing about it. So I'm going to tell you more about the marketing side. So there are certain channels that perform well. Yahoo, Japan, for example, Google, YouTube, LinkedIn, CoinTraffic, DoubleClick. DoubleClick is representing programmatic, Bing, and Facebook. Not all of these channels are available at the moment. Hence the key point that you need to rethink your channels. Also, not all mobile apps are now accepted in the App Store. So maybe quite a few FX companies have considered using progressive web apps, which is not an app, but acts like an app. Technology, very important. You need to track, and you need to remarket. This is the bread and butter of Forex or an ICO campaign. Yeah. Next. So if you're doing everything well, like you should be, you'll get incredible results from digital marketing campaigns. And you'll see the progression, which I always pitch. CPM, CPC, CPA, ROAS. For those who don't know, first you pay for impressions, then you pay for clicks, then you pay for the actions, and then you get ROAS. And then you get great results. This is a technical requirement, cannot be done overnight. Takes time. You need to understand your costs and how much you can pay for the user. And once you're really good and you're at the ROAS circle and you have predictive marketing models, you actually don't care how much you pay for the user because you're going to get 2-3x of the amount spent. Okay. We used to have a client who was a foreign exchange. They did everything well. No, had a exceptionally great performance and results, and they thought, okay, we still need new traffic sources, need to drive new products, and we're actually thinking about crypto. How can we make more money? These were their three main goals: traffic, products, crypto. Every Forex wants that. And you can see that most companies like that just have 5 key points that they want to do. Step 1, add crypto. Step 2, we're going to build a wallet. Step 3, we're adding a token or running an ICO. Step 4, it's an exchange. Step 5, it's a fund and we're making money. It's exactly what our clients were doing, exactly. All right, then you can see, so the 2 blank spots are for you to remember. Probably, yeah, crypto, 20K, everything's going well. But then there was a crash, so I left them blank intentionally. So, okay, so the client managed to add crypto, create a wallet. They didn't run an ICO, they just added a token as a loyalty program for their main exchange. And at peak, it cost $40 to $60. Now it's roughly 50 cents. Okay, so they got heavily affected, not only by the exchange rate, but the other thing that we're going to discuss now. What happened? So their model didn't work. They were acquiring overpriced traffic. They were acquiring a lot of users, which were holding crypto. So the behavior was completely different to that of their models for Forex. And this was their chart. This was their earnings, basically. So yeah, incredible results. I haven't seen such poor results almost ever. Yeah, just because they made these 3 mistakes that quite a few companies make, and we see them quite often. So they incorrectly identified the user behavior patterns. So they fed in those results into marketing. They overspent acquiring users who don't trade. You can see exchanges giving up airdrops, right? So they just get a number of users who don't trade, as an example. Incorrect LTV assessment and unprofessional contractors at that time. And I still believe there are very few marketing professionals out there. So even we struggle hiring people to our team. Case number 2, BitsGap. So the guy started from scratch. It's a trading platform. algorithmic trading platform, whatever. It's adding APIs, all the cool stuff. I'm going to show you this slide. Great thing for us, they were starting from scratch. We helped them build awareness, then drive intent, and then we introduced retargeting. So this is how they should do. We're ready to see trade on all crypto exchanges from one platform using an API. So this is their market assessment. It was very positive. Yeah, all looking good. And in order to avoid the mistake that we're discussing, they actually started looking at the crypto profiles. And this is how we approach it with BitsGap. So we identified 4 personas. One of them was the persona coming from the classic Forex space, right? So you can see all the categories and then the value, right? So it's roughly low or high. So we're identifying the channels that we would be using. So some of the channels are not being in use at the moment. It's Facebook. There are ways of using Facebook at the moment. Let's discuss them offline, let's say, off recording. And then the second would be adventurous underachievers who were interested in arbitrage. So arbitrage would have been the greatest driver. Now you know with the market state arbitrage is slightly different, but we identified the personas and actually they worked. So we're paying very little to acquire very good users. Again, the channels. Then we know that it's a struggling amateur, basically a copycat. Copycat traders. And these were approaches and the USPs that you want to see, where to find them, and demo audience that every FX has. Right, so this is the... Actually, if you want slides, just email me later. I'll send you the slides and actually consult you for free if you like. So the future. As I discussed, there are not going to be any quick wins, unfortunately. So if you're moving into crypto space, you have to start from scratch, both because of the technical requirements of advertising platforms, and you'll have to think old school, right? Which is you'll have to start with CPM. If you're an ICO, nobody knows about your product, why would they Google search you? You're not going to get any organic traffic. So first you need to generate impressions, then you can start acquiring users through CPC models, CPA models, and if you're very good, and I assume people here are very good with modeling financial behavior, then you can move to ROAS. That's me. Happy to take any questions. No questions. Thank you.